Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. I am so glad that you are here. If I sound a little under the weather, it is because I am. I've had one of those flus where you feel it come on in the throat and then you think, have I got the flu? And then the next day you wake up and you know that you have got a full-blown flu. So that is me today, but it's okay. All these things pass and that's just part of life, hey? Did a COVID test. One of my friends said, oh, you should do a COVID test. And I had actually not even contemplated that it could be COVID because my mind is so far away from that now. But of course, I raced home and did a COVID test and it wasn't. So that was good. But I am lying low this week just to chill out a bit and get on top of some of these jobs. And it's great because, you know, doing podcasts, creating content, approving some content, it's all nice, easy sort of work that I love to do anyway. And today we did an amazing masterclass, which was all about how to structure the accountability in your law firm, which is such an awesome topic because what that's about is it's around getting your team on board and getting them in a place where they are not pointing the finger to everyone else saying, oh, I didn't think that was my job. I thought that was their job. And then, of course, it just ends up in frustration for you as a law firm owner. So that's what we did today. And I announced today in my masterclass, my new program. And the reason I'm doing a new program, as well as the Scalable Business Lounge, is that I have recognized that inside the Scalable Business Lounge, there is really two groups of people. The first group are the startup solos and up to around 3 staff. We've got a lot of these people in there and they are awesome. They're doing so well. And the Scalable Business Lounge is suited so well to them because it's all about getting more work in the door, getting your marketing right, getting your messaging right, and really amping up your revenue so that you can start growing a team. But then, of course, what happens, and this is sort of what's happened, because I've got people in there that have been in there for 2 years with me, they've grown a team really quickly. Like I've got a few people in the Scalable Business Lounge that only started their firms 2 years ago and they're already hitting that $1 million mark, which means that they have a team of 5 or 6 or 7 people and they are really exhausted because now they're having to up-level their skills around leadership. They've got no systems in place because they've been too busy focusing on getting work in the door to feed all the mouths that they've got to feed, and they find themselves in this spot. So that happens around a $700,000 turnover, around $60,000 a month. That is exactly what happens. And I know the position because it happened to me as well. I grew my firm and around the $1.2 million mark, I got really, really stuck for quite a few years. I couldn't break through and get past that point because I was not the leader that I needed to be. And I hadn't systemized my firm and created a structure that was sustainable. What I'd done is I'd created everyone to be relying on me, for me to be answering questions all the time and telling people what needed to happen. And then I'd be chipping in and wearing all the hats. And, you know, I remember feeling like my office was like a train station. I was like the conductor in this train station and people would be like, toot, toot, Carolee, what do you want me to do with this thing? Toot, toot, Carolee, what do you want me to do with that thing? And it was literally like people were lining up, waiting to take a ticket to ask me a question about what they wanted me to do. Now, the reason your staff do that is because they want to do a good job and they don't want to let you down, but they feel like they need to rely on you to give them the answer because they're not empowered to do it themselves. Now, this is a leadership issue. This is a systems and processes issue. And this is a team framework issue. So in the new program, this is exactly what we are doing. So I'll tell you some of the mistakes that I made that really made it difficult for me to get past that $1.2 million mark. Like I just could not scale beyond that because I had nothing systemized. So I might have had the odd little system here or there, but realistically, the whole firm wasn't properly systemized. And I would notice things going wrong. So for example, I would notice that a client would be onboarded and then the client would then receive monies back from trust like a few days later. And I'd be then signing the trust check for the money to go back to them like a refund. And then I'd be like, what? Why are they leaving? That we haven't even started their matter yet. And then I would find that what was actually happening is that once they decided to be a client and retain us, then they wouldn't be handed over in an appropriate time frame or called back in an appropriate time frame, and things were getting lost. And then they would feel that they weren't valued, or that their matter wasn't important to us, or that the lawyer was too busy to look after them. And so then they would move on to somewhere else. So I realized when mistakes like that started happening regularly, that I needed to up my game and put some systems in place to prevent those things from happening. And I had systems in place over time for lots of things, for many, many functions of the firm. And then it wasn't until one day I went and visited a friend's business. He owns 5 dental practices that turn over around $7 or $8 million a year. So he's quite a big business. And he works like 5 hours a week in his business at the most, and doesn't do any dental work anymore. But he invited me to go to his firm or his business and to meet with his team leaders for their leadership meeting. And what I learnt at the leadership meeting and just in the car ride there with him was that he had systemized every last function in his business so that the business didn't rely on him and the people in the business didn't rely on him. Everything in every one of his dental practices worked exactly the same, and it was literally like how you would expect, say, a franchise to run. You know, when you go to McDonald's, it doesn't matter which McDonald's you go to, it's the same burger at every McDonald's, right? So he got his dental practices running this way, which meant that he had cut down any need for them to ask questions of him. And also he'd then set up a team framework and structure. So each of the dental practices had a proper team framework and structure. And so he told me all about this in detail. And then he gave me also a book that he's written that he hasn't released. It was his work that I read, and I was thinking, I need to put this into my law firm. And that's exactly what I did. And it has been phenomenal. And one of the things that I have been doing is I've been private coaching a few incredible law firm owners who are around over the $1 million mark, who have a team, who have a very busy schedule because their office is like a train station, like mine used to be. And it's because they don't have the systems in place that they need, and they don't have the team framework in place either. They don't have the right people in the right seats. And so they're really, really struggling and feeling really, really stressed. They feel like their business is not, it's not automated enough. They feel like, they're too busy putting out fires, covering up, fixing up mistakes, and dealing with their team. And their team just doesn't seem to cut the mustard, so to speak. And so what I've been doing with these private clients is I have been helping them put systems in place month by month by month by month, and basically sharing with them my templates, sharing with them what they need to do to get those systems in place. So I thought, why not make this more widely available and create a program out of it, which is exactly what I have done. So I've created a program so that you can literally take all my templates and slot them into your law firm so you don't have to do all the hard work. You don't have to get your team to do all the hard work. The entire framework is there. And yes, it can work for any practice area because this is about the running of your actual business. It's not about delivering the legal service you deliver. It's about how you run the business right through every single section of the business, which is, HR, accounts, finance, marketing, sales, service, all of that sort of thing. So I have systemized my entire firm, and now it doesn't need me there all the time. No one needs to come and ask me for questions because they have got their own systems, they've got checklists, they've got templates, and everything gets done behind the scenes without me being there. I don't need to be solving problems all day long because they can solve their own problems because we have it all spelt out exactly how to do these things. So in every other business in the world, nearly, they have systems and processes in place. But for some reason in law firms, we just don't seem to have it. We have a precedent bank, and we often have, a legal client management system, but we don't have a systems and processes library that the team can go and rely on. So my new program is all about implementing this into your firm. And not only that, the other thing, so we're going to be doing in the new program, getting your systems and processes platform up and running. It's secure so that your staff, if they leave, cannot take it with them. I've learnt my lesson because that's happened to me. And then we've got the scalable team framework, which is the framework on how to get your team working like a well-oiled machine, right people, right seats. And then we have a very exciting component to this program, and that is around law firm leadership. So we're offering what's called the Law Firm Leadership Blueprint, and this is going to help you to up-level your skills as a leader in your law firm, which is absolutely necessary if you want to grow your firm to the next level. If you're struggling on growing your firm, it's because of you. You're responsible for the growth of your firm, and sometimes we are the biggest bottlenecks that we could possibly have in our businesses. And I most certainly know that I have been a bottleneck and sometimes still am. It's so much better if I take myself out because I'm the one who's likely to cut corners and make mistakes on things versus, say, for example, booking appointments. If a client comes to me directly and tries to book an appointment through me, I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be booked inaccurately at the wrong time or something will go wrong with it. And, you've got to stick in the system and process so it gets booked in the proper way so we can onboard the client in the proper way, give them the full service that we would always give them. So another mistake is just not having the firm's right structure, which means the right structure, the right accountability structure and organizational structure, and the right people in the right seats. This means that no one knows what they're doing. No one's taking responsibility. People are, saying, oh, well, I didn't know that was my job. Or I thought that was someone else's role to do that. Or, they're just not doing it. And then it all falls back on the principle of the firm again because no one's taking responsibility. So we need our teams to take responsibility. And then what happens is as law firm owners, we think, no one cares about the business as much as I do. There's no one good out there. Where do I find good staff from? How come Carolee has such great staff? Where does she find them from? The same place you do. It's just that my team are inside a structure that works. We have got a structure and then we've got the right people in those right seats, and that's how it works. The other thing too is that there's no leadership in place. So you might be the principal, and then you're running too many people and it's just hard work. You cannot keep up with everyone's sick days, holidays. You can't keep up with who's coming and who's going and who's remote and who's not. It just gets too much because you're trying to carry too much yourself. So we need to get the right structure in place, the right accountability in place, and the right leadership in place so that your firm can grow beyond you. Now, the other mistake that people are making, and I most certainly made this mistake for many, many years, is that as the law firm owner, I didn't know how to be the best leader that I can be. And, leadership is something that we're always learning and growing. It's a growth journey. In fact, all of these things are. Systemizing your practice is a growth journey, and it does need to be tweaked and changed as your firm changes. The firm structure needs to be tweaked and changed regularly, and you as a leader need to be up-leveled and grow and learn more. I have had tens of thousands of dollars worth of leadership training and coaching, if not hundreds, and I'm still learning how to be a better leader. And not only, the training, mentoring, coaching, but then just being in there and leading people. It is so different to be leading people in your law firm than it is as a employed, solicitor, maybe as a partner somewhere else. It's very, very different. And so how do we do that really successfully? How do we stop micromanaging? How do we stop a high turnover of staff coming and going? And we're not sure why it's happening. And also, how can we attract the right people? Because the thing is that law firms, lawyers want to work in high-level law firms. They want to be part of that. And sometimes when we're a smaller practice and we're just coming out of our infancy into that, 700 to $1 million to 1.5 sort of turnover, we're still fairly small and we might not be offering as a leader what people are looking for. So how as a leader can we make that offer and turn our business into a really attractive proposition for the best talent that we can possibly get? So we deliver in this program a pillar of law firm leadership, and that is actually in a live retreat setting, which is really exciting. I'm super excited about that. So you can see how once all of these things are implemented, once you've got a systems and processes platform in place in your firm, once you've got the scalable team framework all set up, and once you've up-leveled as a leader and you have the law firm leadership blueprint in place in your firm, you can see how this could be so beneficial. So the doors are open right now for this program. And if you fit the category of a 700,000 plus turnover, it's around 60,000 a month, and you are wanting to up those skills, you want to get a well-oiled machine for a law firm that doesn't rely on you all the time, and you want to reduce your working hours to 20 hours a week. That's the goal, people, here, is that as a law firm owner, you will reduce your hours to 20 hours a week. If you want to do that, then this program is for you. This is exactly the program for you. So if you want to know more about that program, you can email me on caralee@scalablelaw.com, and I will ask all kinds of, I'll answer all of your questions about it to see if you're a good fit for it. And we can go from there. I can do a strategy call with you and we can see if it's a good fit or not. It is going to be a really great program. On that call, of course, I'll also talk to you about the investment and how long it's going to take to get there, etc. But if you're ready to up level, I am ready to deliver the goods and show you how I have gone from that around $1 million mark up and beyond, and how I have, created a business that doesn't rely on me, and a business that I don't work in all the time. I'm working in the firm about 10 hours a week at the moment. The rest of the time, I'm spending my time on the love of my life, which is scalable law, because I love helping other law firm owners. So that's all in my podcast today. That's all I have for you. I have been mumbling my way through. I do get that today with my flu, but please forgive me. I'll be back on track next week for sure. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.